extremely difficult hearing her pupils, more so because they're using a very large classroom to help socially distance the children apart, and she's just finding it very difficult hearing the children furthest away from her. She's very, very nervous upon attending. She's also suffered from, and she feels as though that she's had 2 separate ear infections in this ear. Unfortunately, she did use a cotton bud, and what's happened is that this remaining wax has been impacted against the eardrum. I should apologise for the lag in this video. I'm really not sure what's going on. It doesn't happen with all the videos I upload, but a small number of them I get a slight lag, and I hope it's not too much of an inconvenience whilst viewing. Actually, it might help slow down the process, so you get a better view of actually what I'm doing. Let's hope so. So I initially used a standard Zollner suction probe, removed the softer, wetter outer part of the earwax, and all of this earwax is quite lateral, so medial, and when I say medial I mean very adjacent, close to the eardrum. So medial means nearer to the midline. I've now attached a fine end gauge. A fine end gauge is an extension of the standard Zollner suction probe, and it's got a narrower tip, so not only is it less noisy, so when we go this close to the eardrum, the noise can be quite loud. We're looking in excess of 100 decibels, which can be quite deafeningly loud actually. So the fine end gauge helps reduce that noise, but it's also less traumatic. So if we do come in contact with the eardrum, it's less likely to cause any damage. And in this instance, because the wax is quite literally stuck to the eardrum, we're having to kiss the surface of the eardrums. Therefore, whenever I kind of perform procedures near the eardrum, I'm always going to be attaching a fine end gauge. You'll see there at the top part of the eardrum, that's actually dead skin, and you can tell it's skin by the consistency and the colour. It's a very pale yellow. As skin sheds, it's typically white, and then it turns into a yellowy colour, and then it turns into a dark brown colour, and that's due to the oxidization process. The oxygen reacts with wax as well, but also more so with dead skin, and it can discolour the wax. We're now working in the anterior recess, so the anterior part of the eardrum is the forward facing part of the eardrum towards the nose. It's a very difficult part of the eardrum to get access to. In fact, it can be also very difficult to visualize that part of the eardrum. With an endoscope, however, because of the wide field of view that an endoscope provides, it's far more easier to view that part of the eardrum. If you were using an operating ENT microscope, or most certainly head loops, you'd be very limited in viewing that part. And the anterior recess is like a little, how would you describe, a trench, a cravat, and you can just see on that tube I've bent it, and I've bent it to enable me for the tube to go around the bony part of the ball there, because that part of the ear canal is very sensitive, and the bend is quite explicit there. You can see it's very apparent. Fortunately, this wax, maybe even dead skin that's combined with it, it's impacted, it is stuck to the eardrum, and I'm just hovering over the surface of it to loosen this dead skin and wax, trying to gently lift it off the eardrum. The patient was tolerating it very well indeed. I was a bit worried because she was very anxious. I didn't want to tell her that I was that close to the eardrum, because I didn't want to add to any of her anxiety, but she was very still. She was happy for me to perform the procedure and continue to perform the procedure even though we're very close to the eardrum. A few people can get dizzy when we go this close, and that's due to the caloric effect. When we vacuum the ear, it reduces the ear temperature, and your ear regulates your balance as well as many other aspects of your body. But the organ of hearing is located in the inner ear, and it's connected to the organ of hearing itself. And when we cool the ear, it actually inhibits the function of the balance organ in that ear, and therefore the brain is receiving different messages from both ears, and your brain actually thinks you're moving but you're not. And to correct your brain and your ears, your eyes start then rotating, and that's when you develop vertigo. And it's very short lasting, but a lot of people, when we go this close to the eardrum, can feel a bit dizzy due to the caloric effect. You can see there I managed to remove the vast majority of earwax, just a bit of staining there. The patient was very relieved, she was very grateful. She actually mentioned it was life-changing for her. And it just goes to show how debilitating earwax can be. I may have mentioned in the past, in some of my videos, I've had clients before who were almost suicidal due to the wax. So yeah, if you do have a problem with earwax, do see a professional. It's very much recommended. A lot of these home remedies, they don't actually help. They can make matters worse. So that's the end of the video. I hope you really enjoyed that. And if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, please do subscribe, whether it's on YouTube. If it is on YouTube, please select the bell icon and you'll get notified as and when I upload new videos. If you're on my Facebook page, again, please do like or follow.